The market has gapped above the trend line and we are holding. This is bull mode. Welcome everybody to the Daily Technical Analysis Show. We'll be going over all the most important charts of the day using our custom indicators to give you some price projections of where things could go next. As a reminder, this is not financial advice, and make sure you just stay to the end where I give my final diagnostic on the market and how I'm personally positioned. If you're watching yesterday, you could tell I was feeling bullish and came into the day with the portfolio tilted net long, and that has worked out really well. I've had a great day. I hope you have as well. Okay, over to the markets. Nasdaq up almost 2% today and finishing the day strong. If we go out to the medium-term 3-day chart, we can say we have really broken this trend line here. However, we do have this overhead resistance to get through before we can get really bullish. So with that, let's keep going through. Small caps were up a little bit. Internationals did well except for Japan. Volatility, as we've been saying, we don't think this support zone is going to hold. We think we're going to go down until the 15 with further increases in the market. We had put call ratio off today. Cyclicals versus defenses did really well, and we've gapped up now and it looks like to be possibly into a new uptrend, which is really positive signs for market. And we can see here on the medium term chart we have popped up as well. So that is positive signs. Nasdaq tech stocks outperformed again today. Small caps off a little bit. Growth versus value is up, and again looks like we're turning as well. So there is relative strength coming back into the cyclical growth parts of the market. Yield curve was basically flat. 10-year appears to be holding the 350, 345 level here. High yield bonds are holding up at the top of their range. Dollar basically flat, as was Bitcoin. Commodities up a little bit. Dr. Copper up a little bit and holding. It's given really strong indications of future economic growth. Gold had a bit of a breather today. Natural gas off again. ARK had a good day, up 2%. Energy was the standout sector of today, popping up 3.1%, up, coming up to the top of its range here. So it looks like it might want to test this, and we can see a bit of a big kind of triangle or wedge or flag, whatever you want to call it. It's a bullish formation, so energy is looking good here. Real estate too just popped up above this resistance line we've been watching for a few weeks. So that is a positive sign for the real estate sector. Financials popping up too. Discretionary had a really good day, up 2%. And once again, we've seen the defensive sectors, healthcare, staples, and utilities really flat and off. So the market is 100% rotating into growth cyclical names. BlackRock Barometer up 2%. Coming up to the top of its range. Mega cap tech did really well. Looks like Apple has broken its downtrend line. Microsoft, after remember yesterday's earnings and they gave poor guidance and we gapped down huge yesterday. Look what it's done today, up 3%. So Microsoft gave bleak outlook, and look what price action has done. And remember, prices lead, fundamentals follow. So the market is telling us when a market goes up on bad news, that's really bullish signal. Meta had a great day, up 4.1%. We have this in our equity long short portfolio, and it's been doing really well for us, and we still have a price target on it of 316. So we'll be holding this one for a lot longer. It's quite the contrarian play, like the market was saying that the metaverse is never going to work. They're just pouring money into nothing. But even if you just discount out the metaverse, just the ad business alone, the cash flows from that made it a really good cheap, and still is cheap. And the upside is if the metaverse does pay off, then that's just going to be bonus. Semis did okay today. Netflix had a bit of a breather, which is to be expected. It's been up the top of its buy-sell band here, a bit overbought. Tesla, the big one, earnings yesterday. Look at what we've done, up 10%. So earnings came in a bit expected, so did revenue. Margins came off a little bit, but that's what you'd expect when you get into the volume that they're at now. But they still managed to increase EPS 40% on the same quarter last year. And Elon said they potentially have they could deliver up to 2 million cars this year, barring any unforeseen event. Otherwise, they should better deliver 1.7 million cars. So the company is still growing, around 40%. So where it's at now is, we'll go over and look on our fair value. We've got fair value at 200. So for those of you who don't know, our stock fair value indicator is the first one of its type on TradingView. And it uses, not just like most indicators use technical, just some rehashed version of a basic technical indicator. This uses fundamental data as well as market data. So it uses Wall Street analyst expectations, the business growth rate, the balance sheet items, and a few other things to give our unique fair value on a stock. And the business quality score as well is really good. So we're long this name. If you've been watching the channel, we've been long since down here when we called the bottom 100%, and we knew we were going to come up and tag the 50-day. We've popped above that, gapped really good, and held. Super bullish. I feel comfortable calling this at least a short-term bottom. The next price target will probably be the 50% Fibonacci. So we'd want to get through up to probably around 200, 210, and that's about at the top of the buy-sell range. So we could see a run up to 200 here over the next week or two, and maybe consolidation pullback. And then if we can break that 50% Fibonacci, we might be able to call this broken downtrend and maybe even a new uptrend. If we go out to the medium-term chart, yeah, we can see we got so oversold. I mean, on the daily here, we got down to 41%. If you look over here, we got down to 41% below the 50 bar. It's huge for a company of this side to be that far from the mean. So, but what happens after hard sell-offs? We can have hard bounces, and that's looking like what's happened as we've called it. Okay, moving on, meme stocks, bit of a mixed day. Bed Bath Beyond, sorry if you're in this one, but that was off 22% today. I don't personally touch these things. Intel, we just had earnings come out. Looks like it came in worse than expected, and worst outlook. Market's off 7.3% on Intel right now in after hours. Visa just came in too, a bit better than expected. We're up a little bit. And from yesterday, Las Vegas Sands, look at that. It's a big indicator of consumer sentiment and spending. So price action on the casinos is very bullish. ServiceNow did well as well. IBM was off with earnings. Okay, so now that we've looked at all the markets, what are we thinking? We've broken the trend line, that's for sure. This trend line that's been holding for so long on basically the S&P and the Qs. I mean, it wasn't, if you've been watching the channel, I've been saying it's not going to bounce off it forever. It's not going to hold forever. Looks like it has pierced it, but we do have this overhead resistance in this zone up here. Same with the Dow, same with the SP, small caps as well. So we've got a bit of overhead resistance to chew through before we can safely call this a new bullish uptrend, but things so far are looking good. We've got a huge amount of global equity breadth. You can see in international indices, they're actually doing really well and been outperforming American markets for these last couple of months now. So that's really encouraging. China's reopened. Volatility, big money, SPX options is saying everything's okay. The market's reacting well to bad news. Cyclicals versus defensive are performing well. A lot of tech stocks and those beaten down stocks appear to be of basing and even breaking up out of those basing. Defensive sectors are flat and off. There's a clear rotation into growth names. I feel like this has some legs to it. I feel like we will come up and at least test this. And, whether we consolidate and pull back a bit, I think we will come up and test this higher area up here. And another chart I was looking at interesting today, I just want to show you, is look at the 2-week chart on the Dow. That's super bullish. If the trend candles are green, this formation to me here feels like it's it's like a springboard that's going to go. We're going to rip higher here, and I think that's the pain trade. Is imagine the Dow makes new highs this year. What if the SP comes up and makes new highs? That's going to catch a lot of people off guard, and I feel as though there's a lot of people still short, and everyone's saying, oh, there's going to be, the market never bottoms before a recession, the yield curve. But what happens if all that's wrong? Like, how often do we see markets surprised? They don't always just do the same playbook over and over what everyone's expecting. And imagine this big bullish engulfing candle is the bottom back in October here. So I think that would catch a lot of people off guard. And if you're watching the channel yesterday, I came in today with my portfolio tilted 20% net long. I'm finishing the day with a portfolio tilted 40% net long. So I've gotten more bullish, and I've added a bit more tech names to the long side of my portfolio. So I'm positioned for a bit more upside, but because we've still got this overhead resistance, I'm just keeping it at 40%. If we were to clearly break through this, then I'd go up to 60, 80, and possibly even my max net long 100%. So that's where I'm at. That's where I feel the markets are at. We've still got a lot more earnings coming out next week. We're right in the thick of it now. But so far, as positive developments, things are going well. So any unforeseen events, it looks like we've got a bit of tailwind here in the markets. Okay, that sums it up. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit subscribe so these videos show up in your feed every day. And we'll see you tomorrow to discuss tomorrow's price action. Okay, take care.